So, I returned to New World after 1 year to check out for myself what the hype was about. A couple of months ago, I started hearing good things about New World, and the MMO I was playing was unfortunately starting to fuck around.
Oh, check.
Oh, cool.
Here's the wood cutting one. I'll give you a
That
little.
looks nice.
So notice it is a different color. That allows you to go.
I was bored with time on my hands, so I jumped on, deleted my old character, and started from scratch. I did this because I wanted to feel the game from a new player perspective. Well, as much as you could after already playing 400 hours. So after doing all this, I thought maybe I should make a video to share my findings. Plus, I think it will come from a more normal perspective. I don't have a huge channel where the success of New World dictates my success, and because I've been out of the game for a while, I don't have a vested interest or bias. Not yet anyway. So in other words, this might help some people who are unsure about getting New World or returning. Also, just to preface, I will not be talking about everything that's coming to New World. This is actually more about the feel of New World and how some changes have affected that and made it better. There are tons of videos out there that'll show you exactly what's coming to New World and all those things that have changed, but this is more about what you would do on any given day in New World after all the extra or new content has been consumed. So here are my findings, and I'm just going to go through the categories that you see on the screen. So I'm not some economy specialist, I'm just going to tell you the differences I see. First being is I can actually make gold now, or earn it. Gone are the days where you were being tempted to spend real money so you could buy coins for the game to make your life that little bit less depressing. Who am I kidding though? I'm an MMO player. Nothing makes anything less depressing anymore. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't make gold before, but everything was heavily contested and prices were very low. Now this could purely be because of the population getting smaller since then. But I do think there are certain changes that made this better and ensure that when fresh start servers drop, and everything is contested again, that there will be ways to earn coin. Some of these reasons are from direct changes and others indirectly. So the first direct change is every 18 hours you can earn 2 large sacks. 2 large sacks of coin. These sacks contain 500 coin each and you get them from higher tier chests. The second direct change is hidden stashes. Just like the sack of coins, you get 3 of these every 18 hours from farming any node, and for some reason sometimes you'll get 6 of them, just because. But anyway, these hidden stashes stack with your level and at high levels will give you up to 150 to 200 coin each. There's also coin from killing random enemies, which while not much, will stack up. And of course there's also quest coin, which stacks up quickly later on and will leave you with a good chunk of change when you've done all of the quests. Those are all decent ways to get coin, but aren't the best in my opinion. No, the best actually comes indirectly from a change they made to Expedition/Dungeon. So if you didn't know, you no longer need keys to get into Dungeon, which means you can now easily run them over and over, up to 25 times a day. And in these dungeons you get coin every time you kill a boss. At first, it's not a lot, but later on, the higher level dungeons give you way more. So at 25 for Amrine, you get about 42 coin for each boss, but at 60 for Genesis, which is the dungeon everyone farms to get their expertise up. In this dungeon, every boss will give you 144 coin. So normally you'll come out of Genesis 500 coin richer, give or take. Now this isn't a lot, but if you're doing a ton of these, they stack up real quick. And if you do all 25 of your runs, you will earn 12k coin a day. And that's not counting anything else like the above mentioned gold and anything you sell on the trading post. This ensures that even when everything is contested to the max with fresh start, there are still ways to make coin other than selling shit on the trading post. In Traversal, they lowered the Azoth cost so that at most you will spend 20 Azoth to travel anywhere. They also added more spirit shrines, which are the fast travel waypoints which make it easier to get around and you don't find yourself running anywhere for long periods of time except for the initial travel to unlock these shrines. This in a weird way has also affected gold making, as anything you are now farming, you can basically farm across the map. So you can go collect Orichalcum in Everfall and then fast travel to Brightwood and collect the Ori there, for example. making farming a bit more efficient if no one is contesting it. Not much has really changed for gathering, except things aren't as super contested, but I imagine that this will change with fresh start servers because everyone will want to level their crafting and gathering. But they did buff the amount of mining nodes, especially orichalcum and star metal. But because crafting is such a big feature in the game and nodes are for everyone, it can be rough at times, especially when certain people are pulling mobs towards you to kick you off the node so they can steal it. The weird thing is, even though this is very frustrating, I don't know if I would change it. I kinda like it, but I do think it could be better. The real problem with this though is the amount of bots that are still in the game. More on them later. Crafting on the other hand has changed a little bit. They have since added a crafting bonus every time you craft an item for the first time. You also get something called research nodes from items that you scrap, which you can take to a crafting station and get more XP. If you get a bunch of these, it can actually level your crafting quite insanely. The only problem is the research nodes are tied to your progression, so the low tier ones are not around for very long. For the most part, you will actually be earning a decent amount of the purples, and you have to be 150 in that crafting trait to use it. But still, that is the hardest 50 levels to get. You can easily just level everything to 150 and just let these level you from there on. I'm also sure that they did some smaller changes to make some stations easier to level and make it a bit more worth crafting things of higher tier, instead of sitting there for 9 hours crafting 1,000 of the lowest tier trash just so you can throw it on the ground. There's also a nice quality of life change they brought with the newest patch, where you no longer have to wait for everything to craft one by one. Instead, it will just give you all your crafts straight away. I mentioned them briefly before, but yes, they are still bots. Now at least you don't get spammed in chat anymore with bots selling coin. There's still a decent amount of farm bots around. These bots you can normally spot because they will check every node even if it's not there, as they have not evolved with eyes yet. Because they are bots though, you can generally get the nodes quicker and take everything around them while they check the next node. This is a big negative for me though, because I don't want fresh start servers to come out and 500 of the players are bots, which will probably happen, so yeah, unluck, big cuck. I think it's starting to become more and more apparent that a lot of people play MMOs solo. For the most part, I do too in New World. I mean, it makes sense. I'm a cretin who hates other people, that acts like a vampire, that has all the downsides of a vampire with none of the benefits. Like I melt in the sun and garlic is my kryptonite because I can't stop eating it, but I'm not a hunk and I don't have any actual reflexes other than in my mouse finger to hit the proceed to checkout button on my next DoorDash order. But I digress. At first I wasn't sure if I could play this solo, but to my surprise it was relatively easy and fun because of a couple of changes. The first being the group finder, which is really good and I'm glad they are even trying to improve it further. Couple that with the fact that you don't need keys anymore and there we go, you can actually do dungeons in this game. Which some of you might think that that's not crazy, but I can guarantee you there were people like me that leveled to 60 at launch and played for quite some time that never saw half the dungeons, especially the level 60 ones, or played them once to progress, after that never playing them again. The recruitment tab/chat is also much better now as it isn't being spammed with bots, so you can always see when something big is about to happen and participate. Wars and invasions might be harder to get into, but that's no different from being in a group because right now there seems to be a select few companies that run all the wars across the map, so until they fix that, it's a pipe dream anyway. One of the biggest reasons that made me think you can play this game solo is actually a series from another YouTuber called Yommi, where he does an IronMan. So for those who don't know what that is, it's basically where you play completely solo and you can't buy or sell anything off the trading post. You can't run in a dedicated group either. You can group, however, if you need to do dungeons, chest runs, and monster farms. He goes through the whole game like this and even eventually hits coin cap, not ever selling anything on the trading market. So if you wanted to watch someone that is very knowledgeable about the game and grinds hard and seems like a genuinely pleasant person, then definitely go check out his IronMan. I will link it in the description below. And because of that great series, I'll be doing an IronMan on Fresh Start, so look out for that if you're interested. We are finally nearing the end of the video, and I just wanted to give you an idea of how the feel of the game has changed. To look more at what you do on any given day in New World after all the normal content has been consumed, and how it has changed. So in conclusion guys, should you return to New World? My answer to that is yes. Why not? There's all this new content and you get it for free. So if you have time and want something new to do, then definitely come back. If you haven't ever played New World and are looking at buying it, then the answer is the same. Plus, if you're already thinking about it or watching this, then chances are you've seen something that looks good to you, so just dive in. Anyway, if you like the video, then like the video, I guess, and let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all from me. Later.